I'm enjoying the game now. I want to play all the time, and you know, it's fun. I mean, golf now is fun for me. I look forward to playing. I look forward to practicing. I look forward to sending videos into the coaches, getting feedback, little tweaks, and just been a phenomenal experience. Love it. So my problem before I started the single plane swing was not one problem. It was many problems. I mean, it was just mainly inconsistency. You know, one day I would shoot, you know, a decent score. I may have broke 90 a couple of times, and that would have been a good day for me, but just super inconsistent. There would be days that I would hit some good shots, you know, maybe shoot a decent round, and then there'd be other days where I couldn't hit a ball. Like I would shank everything. The shanks were the big thing for me. Pushing the ball right, shanking the ball, you know, hitting the ball fat constantly. That was annoying, like to the point where my hand would hurt. So, you know, I just wasn't a really good golfer at all. And, you know, I put time into it. You know, I took lessons many a times, spent a lot of time at the range. You know, I would swing in my yard, you know, put two tees down in the yard and try to swing through them. Like I would work at it, and nothing was working. So what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and, you know, expecting a change. So for me, I was like, hey, you know, I'm on the fence, but nothing else has been working. So I'm going to go on this side of the fence, Graves Golf Academy, and just make a decision. And when you make that decision, commit to it. You know, that's the biggest thing, is you have to commit to it. And if you commit to it, you're going to see results. I promise you. No doubt about it. If you follow what they teach you, you're going to see results. It's just a matter of time. So one thing I really love about the academy is it's not just about the swing, you know, the full swing. It's about the short game as well. There's a lot of information and content in there that's been really useful. You know, how to hit out of a bunker, how to chip, how to putt. All of these things are just super important for your game, and that's one of the main reasons why my handicap dropped so dramatically, is because I was able to go in there and learn how to, you know, learn how to chip and putt, learn how to read putts, you know, hazard or conditions where, you know, maybe you're in the rough, or again, bunker shots. Most people hate going in the bunkers. I enjoy it now because I know how to do it, and I get a good result when I'm in the bunker. Not that I try to go in the bunker, obviously, but when I'm in there, I'm not panicking. And so, again, information on the short game, just the, you know, everything's in there. But for me, the short game is something that there's just not a lot of information out there that is, you know, is very helpful. So I love it. I love going in there and working on my short game, being able to find whatever it is I need, and it's been super helpful. What surprised me the most inside of Graves Golf Academy is, you know, when I send a video into coaches, just the knowledge these guys have. I mean, they're able to see things that I'm like, oh man, I didn't even notice that. You know, in my swing mechanics or my grip. You know, early on there was a lot of things I was working on, but you know, now that I've got it down pretty good, still making little tweaks. You know, we're always working for perfection. And again, if pros are using coaches, you know, I'm going to use them. So the coaching is just second to none. I mean, it's so helpful, and they tell you, you know, make sure you send videos in. That was very surprising to me. Is like, you know, they're super adamant about making sure that you're getting helped. Like, they don't want you to be a part of it if you're not going to use it. And you know, that was kind of odd to me. You know, they're not just trying to take my money. They really truly care and want me to get better. And they're, you know, sending your videos. They're not sending in enough videos. You know, are you practicing? And you know, just holding me accountable. And I just absolutely love that. It's awesome. So it's been about a year, I think maybe a little longer than a year, since I've, you know, been working with the single plane swing. Prior to, I, you know, may have broke 90 a few times. My handicap, if I had to have a handicap, it'd probably be, you know, somewhere around 20 maybe. My handicap's lowered to 7.1 as we speak. And I live in Pittsburgh, so it's not like I get to golf all year round. But again, I mean, it's just being able to learn every aspect of the swing. They're able to qualify the golf swing. You know, Todd knows, like he proves it through biomechanics. There's just so much knowledge and information on why the traditional golf swing is super hard to learn and why it doesn't work for most people, and why the single plane golf swing is simplified and will work for you if you just, you know, put what you're learning to use. Tim, with his short game knowledge, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. Like, I've never seen so much information on the short game, and to be able to take that information, put it to work, and use it in my own game, and see that it actually does work. These guys are just geniuses. I mean, they really are. So, super.
35 plus years of me teaching me, or going to sources that good people, good instructors, but I could never get a connection from one part of the game to the other. There's nothing more frustrating than going to practice or being in the middle of a round with your buddies and things have just gone south and you got nowhere to go. With this, doesn't mean I'm going to shoot a great score the last 6 holes, but now at least I can step up to the 13th hole and I'm like, I got to hit positions again. You know, I got to do what my coaches have talked to me about. The amount of confidence you have because of the knowledge you have makes all the difference in the world. It's a plan. I think most people in the Gold program would agree with that. When you first join, I mean, you're new. You know, you're trying to watch videos and everything, but the Graves coaches kind of grab you by the scruff of the neck. They say, okay, what do you want from this? How much time do you have on a daily basis? How many days do you have each week? And then I work a full-time job. So I said, I think I can give you 30 to 40 minutes, 3 days a week. Hey, no problem. And within 2 days, I had a plan outlining me through the next 30 days, hit that milestone, shot me 30 more, and then hit 30 more. And at that point, you got enough knowledge that, not that you know everything and can teach yourself, but you've got enough knowledge to ask really good questions. And, you know, in my opinion, as a former coach, high school basketball coach, when my players knew enough to have a conversation back with me, we had achieved something special rather than me just saying, do X, Y, and Z. You got it? And of course, heads nod. Well, they didn't get it. But now I know enough to ask guys like these guys back behind me. I know enough to ask good questions. That's huge. It's huge. I'm sending a video, you know, to the guys in Florida, the guys in Arizona, the guys here in Oklahoma City, and they are good people and they are nice people, but they are very honest people. And so, which is exactly what we need. And what I am showing on that video is not what I'm feeling. And guys like me need that. But what's really great too is I want to impress them. I want to send a video that's showing improvement. So I might, you know, I have enough knowledge now to evaluate my own video. So I might take one, evaluate it myself and say, I'm not sure I want them to see this one. So, but what that means is I go practice more. If you don't do it, it's like the guys say, you're just going to practice poorly and you're going to reinforce bad habits. So those videos are a must, and it makes all the difference in the world. When that email pops up, to me, I joked with a friend of mine in the Gold Facebook membership group. I said, man, that's like Christmas when a new video comes out. They do such a good job. Golf is a finite thing. There are not infinite things to learn, but they do a heck of a job of presenting this finite amount of information in an infinite amount of ways. I have a path now. I have a path. My path to become a good player was about this wide before I started. I mean, I could go anywhere. With all the video I've done, that path got to about right here. My goal coming into this week, having never been to school before, was to make that path like this. I have taken a ton of notes this week, but the most valuable notes I've taken are the ones with stars next to them when one of these guys walked up to me and said, hey Shane, take that thumb a quarter inch to the right. That's invaluable. You know, you can't get that by reading a book. I would recommend anybody watching this, let somebody look at you. This whole thing, the technical stuff, the teaching stuff, and the story. As far as Moe goes, the relationship he built with Todd and Tim, we're part of it now. I mean, we're doing what Moe did. I mean, I got goosebumps. I think that's pretty special.
Good afternoon. My name is Ed Harper, and I went single plane approximately 22 years ago. That's when I started. I saw an article about Moe Norman in the Golf Digest, and it said nobody knows what Moe knows. So I read that, and I was quite interested. So I started playing around with it for a few years. So I went to the school with my oldest son, and we both kind of fell in love with the single plane. 3 months after I went to the school, I got my first hole-in-one. So that really enticed me to go completely with the single plane. Well, I've had some medical issues and bad back, so that put me out of commission for a while. So I had to, the only way I could swing was with the single plane. I could not do conventional golf anymore, so I was completely single plane. It's the only way I could swing the club. And I noticed as I got a little older, I was still maintaining the distance that I had when I was younger. So I really liked that. I was more consistent and enjoyed the game just tremendously. The schools are great. Boy, it's really evolved, but it's improved tremendously. And I really love the on-demand, and I'm a gold member and have been for quite a few years. And I really like the coaches, that I can send something in and they'll watch my video and get me back on track. And the coaches I've met, Trent and Clay, have done an excellent job with me. So I've talked 4 of my friends into coming to the Graves Golf Schools. One that lives in St. George, and she loved it, absolutely. And 2 that live in Idaho Falls, and they loved it. And then the greatest thing I did come back this year was to be with my son and his son. So we have 3 generations here learning the single plane.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But he'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.
Hi, it's Todd Graves with Graves Golf. I'm excited to be here tonight to introduce you to the consistency of Moe Norman's golf swing and how there's some things that I want you to understand about what I learned years ago from the greatest ball striker in the world, Moe Norman. But before I get started into tonight's kind of show and the content, one of the things I wanted to discuss with you was a question that Moe asked me years ago. And he asked me this question when I was playing golf with him one day. It was the final round I played with him in 2004, right before he died. And he said, he looked at me, we were having lunch, and he looked at me and he said, and I actually asked him, why me, Moe? Why did you and I become friends? Why did I take on the mission of teaching the world his golf swing, an easier way to play golf? And Moe said to me, because you wanted it, because you wanted it. And I thought it was a very interesting conversation because, like you, and at the time, before I met Moe, I was a struggling golfer. And I had spent years trying to figure out, with dozens of golf instructors, I had spent money traveling around the world trying to figure out how I could become a better golfer. And then I met Moe. And for 10 years, I learned the things that Moe taught me about the swing, about simplifying the game. I was able to tap into his genius. But one of the things that I think, and Moe said because I wanted it, but the real reason that I was able to do more with Moe's swing and teach more people is because what I believe was one very important thing is I listened to Moe. I listened to him. I didn't just see everything that he was talking about. I didn't just observe him hitting golf balls. I didn't watch his amazing swing. I did all those things. But that's not all that I did. I listened to him. And when I did that, I listened to his insights of what was important and what probably was the most relevant stuff to him, teaching me how to basically change my mind and transform me into a day in, day out, what he called 365-day-a-year golfer. I am here tonight doing this presentation because I want you to become a 365-day golfer. What I mean by that is I want you to have consistency when you play golf, to go out there and have fun playing golf and know when you wake up every day to go play golf that you're going to have a good day and a fun day and you're going to hit the ball well and you're going to play well and you're going to have fun and enjoy playing the game of golf. That's what I'm here tonight to help you with. I want to help you become more consistent. I want to help you have more fun. I want to help you shoot lower scores. I want you to hit better shots. I want you to enjoy the shots you're hitting. I want you to enjoy your time playing golf. That is my mission for you. And so as I go through tonight's program, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to listen to what I have to say. I want you to pay attention to it because I'm going to reveal to you tonight the things that Moe expressed to me, which I think is why I was able to be the one to carry his legacy going forward and teach his swing to the world. And I've done it with thousands of people around the world so far, and that's why you're here tonight to go through this program as well. The two things I want to express to you that are going to be fundamental. Number one, the single plane swing. That's going to help you. If you learn the single plane swing, you're going to simplify your golf game, you're going to save your back, you're going to be more consistent, you're going to have more fun. That's the first step in this process, is the single plane swing. All right, I'm going to write that down. So you have the single plane swing. And then that makes sense because many of you are here because you've heard us talk about the single plane swing. You may have already learned some things. You may have seen my YouTube channel. Whatever it is, you're here because you want a simpler way to play golf, and that's the single plane swing. But there's a second part to this, and that's the process of learning the single plane swing. I think this is where, when I get asked the question, and I get this asked very often, how do I speed up the learning process? Todd, how long is it going to take me to learn the single plane swing? What do I have to do? What's the first thing I should do? What's the strategy for getting this, right? How do I get this? All right? So I got to do two things. I got to teach you the single plane swing, and I want to teach it to you quickly and efficiently and effectively and teach you the process of learning it. This is how I'm going to help you tonight. I'm going to do these two things for you. Now, here's what Moe said to me, and I have videos about this, and you can see me. I talk about this a lot on my YouTube channel. I asked Moe this question. Moe, what's the most important thing you can do to learn the swing, the single plane swing? And this is where I listened to Moe. And what he said to me was this: you got to hit your positions. Now, many of you may say, well, that's common sense, right? Common sense, of course. But I got to ask you a question. And if you're in the chat, I want to see, when I get the chat up here, I want to talk to you guys. And you go ahead and put it in the chat. Raise your hand, and don't be, I'm not judging anybody here. How many of you work on your positions of your swing? Just say yes or no, raise your hand, say I do, I don't. But really, let's be honest here. How do you do that? How are you working on the positions of your swing? Do you know what the positions are? That'd be probably the first step. Do you know what position one is? Do you know exactly where you should be? Are you making sure you're practicing it correctly, right? Position two, are you looking at it on video? Are you checking your positions? Do you have checkpoints? Do you know exactly what the correct positions are? So there's some fundamental stuff in those questions. Are you hitting your positions? Because look, we know that you got to learn the single plane swing, and you know that we've got to learn it in a fast, efficient process. Okay, just keep that in your mind here. The only way I can help you as a golf coach and instructor to help your swing so you can hit the ball longer and straighter and more consistently, there's only one way I can help you, and that is to change. I got to change something. Would you agree with that? In the chat, say yes or no. Would you agree with that? That right now, if you want to get better, you got to change something, right? Got to change something. Okay, what are you going to change? What are you going to change? And what you're going to change is you got to change a position. So I got to change position. For example, if you're slicing the golf ball, I've got to get the club, I got to change your position so the club comes from a different path. If you want to get more speed, I've got to put you in a position to produce more speed. If you want to get to impact, I've got to help you get to impact, right? Now this is where we got to go with this. Because everything that I change and do, everything that I'm going to change and do with you should focus on the most important moment of the swing, which is impact, right? So we're starting to get some clarity on this. We're starting to get some clarity on this. We're going to learn a simple single plane swing, the most efficient golf swing to help you get to what? Impact. And we're going to make changes, right? We're going to work on a process that changes you so that everything you learn, everything, is based on the most important moment of the swing. All right, so this is where I'm going to go with you tonight, because my goal is to give you a common sense approach to get consistency, build a simple, solid swing to help you get to the golf course and play better golf and have more fun. So, now that we got clear on that, what I want to do is I want to walk you through every position of the swing. Every single position that you should be looking at in your process. This is the stuff that I'm going to coach you tonight. And this coaching process, I'm going to give you my secret formula of coaching, right? That's what I'm going to do tonight. This is the stuff that I work with. It doesn't matter if you're a skilled tour player that I work with. It doesn't matter if you're a low handicap amateur or high handicap amateur or a beginner. This is exactly the process I put everybody through when I work with their golf swings, right? So let's just go through each one. And then I want you to kind of see, these are my checkpoints for my process, right? So the first thing is my address and grip position. I'll demonstrate it for you. So if you look at my address and grip. Now I want you to look at this. This is the single plane address and grip position. And I want you to see the geometry of this, right? So notice the lead arm and club alignment into a straight line. Mo called this the rod, right? Notice the tilt of my body. Notice the position of my hand, my lead hand that's to the target. Notice my leg position. Notice my feet position. All this stuff's very important. Look at my tilt, and now look at my trail hand position. So look at the geometry of my address and grip position. All right, so you see that. Okay, so I'm going to write that on the board. Address, address and grip. So that's the very first fundamental thing that I check that you have to get perfect, is the address and grip. I'm going to do it down the line so you can see it. Because the address and grip, you can see the tilt of my body. Notice the lead arm is higher than the trail arm. And you see my address. There's the single plane address. Notice how the club is lining up with my trail arm. That's the exact same plane at address, the exact same plane that I'm going to what? Impact, right? So again, let's put that word up there. Impact. Everything I'm going to show you here is to get us to that most important moment, all right? So we got an address and grip. Now notice that I did not say grip and address. And I'm going to make a point of this. How many of you, and you can put it in the chat, Tristan, you got the chat up there I can look at? How many of you, and you can say yes or no or whatever, how many of you have taken lessons before, not from Graves Golf, and you learned the grip first? Like how many of you did that? Learn the grip first. And you can say yes or no, raise your hand, I can watch the chat here. Fundamentally, golf has made a mistake, and they've been teaching you to put the hands on the golf club first. And I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make in instruction. And I know it's fundamental. Crap, you pick up any instruction book off the shelf, and they're going to show you how to put the hands on the club first. I think it's a big mistake, and I'll tell you why. Because when you put your hands on the club, you are forced to impact with your hands in that position, right? Because your rotation of these things affects what? Impact. So if you don't have your hands correctly on the club, you have to compensate with everything else during the swing to get the club face, the most important thing at impact, the club face correct. So if you get it wrong, and most people do, and I'll tell you why they get it wrong, you're subject to an improper face angle, and now you're building a golf swing around a terrible club face and hand position. But look at impact one more time, and I want you to see this. Okay, here's my impact position, right? Notice my impact position. Notice the tilt of my body. See, I'm tilted. Notice I'm in my lead leg. Look at the tilt of my body. Look at my lead arm lining up. There's my impact position. Look at my trail arm is bent. Here's my impact position down the line, right? Look at the tilt of my body. Look at my hip position. All right, there's that perfect impact position. Do you notice how my body is tilted? See the alignments of my arms? Well, why would I not have some tilt, address, tilt, and then grip the club? So don't you see how the tilt of my body, the tilt, and then the arm position become important, and then the hands? You see how the body position becomes primary, important before I put my hands on the club. That's why I want you to address, get your body position correct, and then get your hands. Because here's what happens. If I get my body position correct, it puts my arms in the correct position, and then my hands can be correct for what? Impact. Because I'm trying to simplify this. I'm trying to simplify address to impact. Okay, so keep that in mind. Everything I'm doing here is to get you to the most important moment of impact. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to teach you is what Moe talked about, right? Moe said, hit your positions. He kept saying this to me, hit your positions. What are the positions? Positions of the swing. This is where you make changes, because if you have a perfect address and grip, so you're fundamentally perfect, ready to get to impact the most efficient way from the starting position. Now, if you hit the correct positions with your body, the club will move correctly and you'll hit the ball well, right? So we have to now get your positions of your body correct. Now, we have 1 through 6. We have 6 positions. 6 positions I want you to understand. And I'll explain why these are so important. I'll just go through those with you really quick. So here's your address and grip. Notice the tilt of my body. Notice the position of my legs, everything. Everything's related here, all related to impact. Look at position 1. There's a rotation, position 1. And then I'm going to go to the top. Position 2, leverage the club. Notice that position, a nice leverage angle of the club. I'm going to transition, stabilize the body. I'm going to turn pelvis and torso. That's what we call position 3. That's right. I'm in striking position now. That's where the power has been maintained. I go to what? Impact. We call it position 4. So every position here makes it easy to get to that moment of impact. There's position 4. Look at position 5. There's extension, position 5. And then 6. There's position 6. Okay, that's clubs back on plane. Let me do that down the line for you. And by the way, these positions are what I coach. So, and what all the coaches here at Graves Golf coach, we check your address and grip. We check position 1. We check position 2. We check position 3. And then we locate where you can improve the most. So look at, here's address position again. So you see the impact plane. I'm starting on the impact plane. Look at position 1. Everything turns inside. Position 1. Look at position 2. Look at the club get to the plane. Position 2. Look at that club. That plane you're seeing is a mirror image of this plane. So, for example, that would not be on plane. That would not be on plane. See what I'm saying? So, you have that position 1, which allows me now to do what? Go to a plane that mirrors what? Impact. So everything that I'm teaching you, every position I'm showing you, is to get to impact. So let's do that again. So let's go to position 1, put the top position 2, transition position 3, impact 4, extension 5, and look at this. Look at the club, back to the plane and finish 6. Back to the plane, then I stand up. Everything that my body is doing in these positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, everything I'm doing there is to help me do what? Get to impact. Okay? So, again, the approach here, and what I'm teaching you, and what Moe taught me is everything you need to be doing in your swing to make changes needs to have a focus of helping you get to impact the most efficient way, whether it's the address and hand position, whether it's the body position, whether it's the movement, everything has to help you get to impact. This is how you're going to get better. Okay. Guess what? Now that we have the positions, I showed you all the positions, we need to put it all together, sequence. Now, sequence is a very important part of all this, right? Because if we put it together, guess what we get in sequence? We get speed. And now we get this thing called consistency because we have a really good address and grip. We have all our great positions that help us get to impact. We now can sequence to get us to impact, and now we can have speed at impact. All right? So this is where we start having some fun with it. Now, what is sequence? And this is where, and look, I don't know how many, I can't see the chat, but how many of you are new to this, right? How many new? Is there some new people raising their hand? How many are new? The first time you've seen me do this, right? Raise your hand in there or say, yes, I'm new to this. If you're new to this concept, this is a very important concept I want you to understand, and probably something you've never learned from any other instruction is what I'm going to teach you right now, which is if you want to sequence the swing, you have to be able to accomplish what I call the brakes of the golf swing, what I call the braking system. In other words, like the brakes of a car. So what I mean by that is, if I want to put the body into sequential motion in a swing, and you have good positions, part of the body will be stopping as another part of the body continues to move. That way you can accelerate the body. So let me give you an example of that. And it happens on both sides of the swing. In the backswing, notice, look at my leg position. Remember address and grip? Look at the tilt, look at my leg position. There's a purpose for my leg position. You see how I'm framed up? We call this the A-frame. When I take the club back, notice how I'm bracing against this leg. Look at that leg. It's in an angled straight line. That becomes a brace, and I move around it. So now what happens is I can move. My lower body can move first. I can sequence my body first. If I don't get this leg in the correct proper position, I can't move in sequence. So this position allows me to change directions, move, and then get to impact, right? In a sequential way, because this part stopped, this part continued. In the downswing, the exact opposite occurs. I go back, I stabilize into the lead knee, again, the braking system here, and then I rotate around this stopped lead hip. So there's a stopping of a part of a body, and there's a movement of the other part. Does that make sense? And some of you guys will say to me, Todd, is the swing right-sided or left-sided? How many of you had that question? Is it right-sided or left-sided? It's both-sided, but you got to learn when and where to put the brakes on. It's learned, right? The sequence of a swing is a learned process from good positions. So I got to learn what I call the braking system. You can't just sequence a swing. You got to know how to stop, right? You got to know, if you know how to put the brakes on, you can sequence. If this stops, I know how this goes, right? If this doesn't stop, you can't accelerate. So I can't help you get speed if I don't sequence you correctly, okay? Common sense. Now, once I get that, I can accelerate and give you speed. All right, so this, I just laid out for you guys. This is my formula, right? I just did it right for you. This right here is my formula. You got 1, address and grip, 2, learn the positions, 3, learn the braking system and sequence, 4, accelerate for speed. How many of you are watching this going, Todd, totally makes sense? Or I've seen you do this a million times, right? All right, I'm watching the chat here. Now, be honest with me. Those of you that are chiming into the chat here, how many of you, and this is my process, how many of you actually learned the swing backwards? And what I mean by this is, how many of you ran out there with a golf club when you first learned to play and just started hitting balls? And I know we all did. I did. You did. Everybody does. We all just go hit balls, right? Everybody's like, yes. So you actually learned backwards. Because what you did was you're trying to add speed to the club. You're trying to get this ball to go. You're trying to get to impact without having correct positions, without having any idea of how to hold the club or address, and any idea how to sequence your body, right? Okay. Everybody's like, yes, 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 yes. We all learn backwards. My goal tonight is to stop you from learning backwards. Not only stop you from learning backwards, I want you to stop practicing backwards. I want you to stop doing everything that you're doing backwards. I want to go, because if you do that, I can transform your game. I can transform you. Okay, now I want you to look at something. You see my process here, my formula? This is the same exact formula that they're going to teach you if you want to learn to dance. Go learn how to dance. What are they going to do? They're going to tell you how to position your body to start. They're going to teach you the steps of the dance. Then they're going to start putting all the steps together. Then you do it in speed. If you're going to go learn to play piano, right? I played piano when I was a kid. You learn where to place your hands on the piano. You learn notes and chords, where the notes are. You put that together, and now you have music. It doesn't matter. I could go through every learning process. But let me ask you this. Why is golf different? Why has golf been taught different? Because it's messed up. Because we run out there, it's a recreational sport, and we go play, right? We don't practice correctly. And so what you've been stuck with is you've learned it backwards. You've learned to play golf backwards. I'm here to change that. And I can get you practicing and training correctly. I can transform the way you play golf. I'm here to help you change that. There's one thing you have to understand about this process. This is how the brain learns. So not only am I showing you my kind of magic formula of teaching, which all of our coaches use, I use, doesn't matter what level you are, this is my formula, but this is because the brain requires this process to learn. Let me just phrase that differently. Do you think you're going to get better by keep doing what you're currently doing? I mean, if you go out there and hit more balls, are you going to get better? You're just hitting more balls? Are you going to get better by watching some YouTube tip? I've never seen anybody get better. Even my YouTube channel isn't a great place to learn. I present stuff all the time. It's cool. I love it. But God, it's not a great place to learn because it's so out of sequence. It's so out of context. I talk about stuff that people shouldn't even listen to unless they're moving along in my process, right? So that's what I need to help you with. I need to get you doing this correctly. This is the only way to do it. There's no other way for me to help you get better. I'm 57 years old. When I'm 77 years old, I'm going to be up here going, address and grip, positions. It's just the way we do it. It's just the way you're going to do it. It's just the way it's going to be done forever. Unless I can plug a chip into your brain, that might be something coming out soon. But this is how you reprogram yourself. This is reprogramming, by the way. That's what this is. The only thing that's missing that I didn't put in my formula up here is reps, right? So we got to do this. We got to do this repeatedly. We need to be doing this over and over again. Repetition, 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 repetition. Now, here's what I was tasked with. And we have the slideshow ready?
Yeah. We're going to make it.
We're going to make it. When I've been teaching this swing for a long time. Matter of fact, you guys may have had my video called the Single Plane Solution video. We've sold over 1 million copies of the Single Plane Solution video. I produced that video in 2010. We've sold over 1 million copies of that video. And it's a great video. It goes through everything that I teach. It does everything, but it's not a great training video. It's a great video, but it's not a great training video. So my team came to me and they said, Todd, listen, we want you to take your knowledge, take your expertise. You've been doing this now for over 30 years. Take everything you know and sit down and build us a program that will be a transformative program. Develop the most transformative program that you could ever develop and come back to us with it, because we know that there's 2 things you got to solve for us. You got to do it as fast as possible. You got to teach a person as fast as possible. You got to teach them perfectly, right? 2 things. I got to teach you perfectly and as fast as possible. And I said, okay. And I said, I know how to do this. Realistically, I've got to make sure that you do that. You got to do this, 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 and this, right? You've got to do these things. You've got to have reps, and you got to be able to do this in the proper order, right? That's what you have to do, and you have to do it correctly. So I developed a 30-day training program, 30 days. It's called Single Plane 30. Now, here's what's amazing about Single Plane 30. Is we launched this in December of last year. It was the very first time we put this out in December. And we were still trying to figure out how do we position this? How do we position this? It's a training program. It keeps you accountable, right? And now we're in, Scott, 8 months, 9 months?
Yeah,
9,
8 months.
8, 9, September will be 9.
Yeah.
So we're in our 9th month of this, and it's been amazing. How many people? 1,000 people, roughly 1,000 people have gone through it? Over 1,000 people have gone through it. And people are crazy about this program. People are going through it multiple times. Here's exactly what it is. And we're going to go through the program right here. It's a 30-day transformational training program that teaches you for 30 days, every single day, exactly what you need to do to learn what I just showed you. This is my formula. It walks you through it in 30 days. But it does more than that, because it's not just about 30 days of training. It's about week 1, keeping you accountable to getting it right. So week 1 is about the foundation. So in week 1, you get delivered a training module each day. And in that training module, it's going to teach you the address and grip. So we build the foundation in week 1. And it's giving you exactly how many reps you need to do, exactly what you need to do that day. You can do it multiple times. So think about it. It's not you guessing at what you need to do that day. It's not guessing, am I doing it right? We give you a training module, and you do the training module every single day. You don't have to be at the golf course. You can be at your house. You can be in front of the TV. You can be watching football. You can do the training module, all right? That's week 1. Week 2, key position training. Positions, right? And we get into some braking system. So now in week 2, I'm teaching you the exact positions of getting to impact, and I'm teaching you about how to use the brakes. Because if I teach you position 1, we're braking around the trail leg, right? So I got to teach you that there's a braking system here. You go to the top, you got to maintain the braking system, right? So I got to teach you positions, but also how the body is stopping to move into those positions. Again, daily training modules. Here's what you do every single day. I'm teaching you these positions and the brakes. Week 3, guess what? Sequencing. I start teaching you the sequence of the swing. So now that you learn the brakes, guess what? I can get your body into motion. So now we start sequencing the swing. Now we don't go super fast, because I want to teach you how to do it correctly in the proper order before I start adding too much speed. And of course, week 4, I add speed, right? All right, so here's the thing. We've had so many incredible testimonials about this. Let's go through one time what this program is all about. The next thing I want you to understand is it's not only going through the correct things every single week. The most important thing that we have found in the program is the daily accountability, making sure that every single day you're accountable to the training. Just to be honest with you, the first time we launched this program, we put the first week out there, and people were getting way ahead of it, right? They were doing the last day of the week before they got the training done. So we said, nope, daily accountability. Every single day you get a module, and that module, you're accountable to finish that module. Super important to that. The other thing too is, and I'll give you an example. Here's an example of your daily training module. You'll see that there's a video, and I'm performing the daily training on the video, and then it tells you how to do the training, how many reps to do, and what the goal of the training is. So you're getting this every single day. I'm coaching you every day. That's what you need. You need 30 days of me coaching you every single day and telling you what to do. Not guessing, not running to the range, not doing it incorrectly, me helping you every single day. So I also support coaching support. So the coaches, including me, we go in there every week, a couple times a week, and we coach you through the program. So we do Zoom calls with you. You hop on the Zoom, you have questions about the program, we go through the weekly training, we review certain things in the training, you ask me questions. We also have a coaching support team that's inside Single Plane Academy while you're in the program, supporting the program as well. So you have coaches with you all the time. Imagine that. What's that worth, right? What's it worth having a coach that you can refer to when you're going through the training of the program? Here's an example of inside Single Plane Academy. You'll see that guys are posting pictures. Some of the students in the program are posting pictures of their swing, showing their positions, and we're coaching you through that, right? Now, imagine for a second You spend the month of September working through 30 days, every single day training this program. 30 days of solid, perfect training to transform yourself. Here's what we've come up with for the price. You're going to think this thing is outrageously expensive because you got the coaches involved with the program, but here's what it is. We've laid this thing out. You got the 30-day training program, you got the daily accountability modules, you got the live coaching support. All this stuff's worth over $2,000. We're going to give you the entire program for $297. But that's not everything. I got more that I'm going to give you with this. After you finish the program, you're probably going to want to take it to the course. Well, I don't want you just running out to the golf course. I want you to have a strategy and a process. So I give you my Take It to the Course Masterclass. I normally charge $500 for this class. I'm going to give that to you for joining the program as well. So I'm going to help you learn my processes. Again, I'm a strategy guy. Just like this process here, the Take It to the Course process, here's what you learn in that class. I teach you a pre-round routine. I teach you a pre-shot routine. I teach you an in-between shot routine, and I teach you a post-round routine. I'm strategizing your ability to go to the course. Guys, I just want to say this. Can you imagine if you go through my program for 30 days, and can you imagine if I teach you how to take it to the course, what kind of golfer you're going to be? Think about it for a second. This level. Because, look, your friends aren't doing this. The buddies you play with aren't doing this. These guys are out, they're guessing at it, they're frustrated, they're struggling, they're not very good. Guys, take it to another level. Strategize your success here. I'm doing it with you, with my processes. Because I'm a process guy. I don't like to randomly go about anything, right? I like strategies. Okay, now, you got the Take It to the Course Masterclass with us. Here's what I'm going to do for you. There are so many things that we can help you with your processes that I want to give you a personalized call with one of our coaches. And again, I'm a strategy guy. I want to define some goals for you. I want to organize your strategy. I want to build you a step-by-step plan. So I'm going to give you that. That's probably something you'll do at the completion of the program. We're going to get you going forward, how you take your single plane 30 training and strategize that into becoming a much better golfer as well. Now, I'm going to charge you $297 for this course, but I'm going to give you that back. Here's how I'm going to do it. You notice these training aids that I'm using. These are feedback tools. One of the things that's very important about you getting better is practicing correctly. So when you're in single plane 30, I want you to practice perfectly, right? I want you to always practice perfectly. So I have 3 key training aids that they're about $300 worth of training aids. Scott, how much are the retail? I never know how much retail price is.
$319.85.
$319.85. Scott just knows exactly how much these cost if you bought them retail from the site. Okay, so I got a Feeling of Greatness training club. This club is more than just a club to hit. And I got the alignment ball position trainer, and I have a single plane trainer. I'm going to briefly go through these with you. The alignment ball position trainer teaches you alignment, where to place the ball, where to place your feet, so you're lined up with perfect foot position and perfect ball position every single time. That's what that's designed for. Very simple training, get on the ground, but your brain is programming. Think about when you're going through the training, you're programming your brain. So what you're visually looking at is programming in your brain. So ball position needs to be programmed in too, right? That's not random. There's a correct ball position. So we want you to use the alignment ball position trainer. The Feeling of Greatness Training Club. This not only teaches you the hand position, there's a flat spot that teaches you how to radial move your hands correctly. We can talk about that. This thing teaches your hand position perfectly. But see the paint on the shaft here? This helps me get my tilt correct before I grip it. So this thing's designed to help you get the body position, address, and then the hand position, then grip, right? So this thing teaches you tilt, position, body position, and your hand position all at the same time with the ABT. Then you have the single plane trainer, which is teaching you how to make the positions of the swing that we talked about, all right? Now, I got a way that I can get you these training aids for here it is. I'm going to give you 50% discount on these training aids. The training club, the alignment ball position trainer, and the single plane trainer, right? It's a $171 value, but that's not all. If you'll sign up this evening, I'm going to give you a gift card for $150. All right, that you can apply to that shopping cart. So basically you're paying shipping for the training aids. It's all you're paying for. Think about it. The program costs you $297, but I'm giving you $150 off. I'm giving you $150 off the training aids and a $150 gift card. Right? So I'm giving you the training aids for free, basically. And I'm doing it that way because some of you may already have training aids. You can apply that discount to other things that you want to buy. There's other products that'll help you as well. So look at this package real quick. Let's just take a look at the entire package. You got the Single Plane 30 program. You got the Take It to the Course class for $500. You got the Blueprint Call, $249 value. You got the $171 discount on the core training aids. You got the $150 gift card. The total value of $3,000 for $300. And guys, we've had thousands of people go through this program, right? Thousands, because of such a great program. Not only is the training just unbelievably core value training, but you're also getting everything you need to train with it and getting the feedback tools you need. I can't develop a more powerful program than this. I can't do it any less expensively. I can't do it more in a better process. Nothing I can do to make a better program. I can't do it. And I'm coaching the program with you. I'm going to be with you coaching the program the entire month of September. Guys, this is how you get better. It's everything I learned from Moe's in this program, everything I've developed over the years, everything I've ever done to help people get better is built into this 30-day program. Notice I didn't do it in 7 days. I told my team I can't do it in 7 days, not enough time. Can't do it in 14 days, can't do it in 21 days. I need 30 days of dedicated training. So let me ask you this, do you have 30 days out of your life? Do you have 30 days where I'm going to deliver to you a perfect training program every single day? I'm telling you what to do. You don't even have to think about it. Just do the training and transform yourself in 30 days. I want to, as you guys go to this, the website is gravesgolf.com/enroll. You can enroll tonight in the program. But I want to talk to I got a few guys on the line here. And are we able to go to these guys now?
We are.
All right. Who do we got first? Let's chat with a few of the Single Plane 30 participants. I want you to hear what they had to say about Single Plane 30.
Okay.
There you go. He got it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Can you hear Keith?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm getting levels.
Okay, because I can't hear him.
You can't hear him? How about now?
Keith,
Todd?
say something. There you go.
Todd,
I got
can you
you
hear me?
now. I got you
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Hey, Keith, tell me about,
sir.
you went through Single Plane 30. I want you to kind of tell the audience, because we're all kind of online here, tell them your experience with Single Plane 30.
Okay, well, just a little background. I started golf right out of college. My buddies would bring me out. I learned how to swing a golf club such that I was comfortable. It wasn't necessarily a good swing. And I'd be happy if I could break 100. I did that for a number of years, but I got really disillusioned after a while. And I just flat out gave up the game because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I don't know if I found it on Facebook or whatever, but I saw some of your videos online, and I listened to a number of them. And the concepts of what you were teaching just resonated. Everything just seemed to make sense for the first time in my life about what it is and what it takes to swing a golf club. And to learn it from the perspective where when I was going to get lessons occasionally, it was like jumping into 8th grade instead of starting in kindergarten. It's about the best way I can explain it. And I never understood what I was being taught because there was never anything before that or subsequent to it that made sense to me. So every attempt of trying to learn the game of golf through the traditional methods was a failure for me. So I just quit until I saw this video. And it's, like I said, the concepts that you were explaining just made sense to me. So I looked into the process I wasn't initially going to sign up. I was just going to use your online videos and try and self-teach myself, but I realized it wasn't going to work. The SPS 30 program made sense to me because it was something that was going to be done slowly, repetitively, and in the order that things should be done. And that was very appealing to me.
Great. So what did you find? Did you like doing the training? Tell me about the daily training modules, because we deliver those every day. How did you like the training modules being delivered? Because I think that's one of the big values of the program, is that we're telling you what to do every single day.
Exactly. And I need to be handheld. And this was very slowly taught. It was repetitively taught and redundantly taught. Now that might sound slow and boring and not fun, but that is exactly what I needed. And it is exactly the thing that's necessary if you really want to learn how to master this swing plane.
Yeah, that's great. I want to talk about a couple things real quick. Let me just hop up here real quick. Thank you, Keith, so much. Thank you for that. Let me, am I back on? I'll come back to Mike in just a minute, yeah.
Okay.
So a couple things that were mentioned there that I think are critically important to talk about. Number one, repetition. How important repetition is to the process. And number two, redundancy. Look, anybody who's good at anything, anybody that's good at anything has been through a repetitive process. If everything you're doing is in the correct order to achieve impact in the ideal way, you need repetition and redundancy over and over and over again. And I think this is where people get, you mentioned being disillusioned. People get disillusioned because they think there's some tip out there. There's not a tip. Moe's golf swing is the answer, and we have to train the answer correctly, fundamentally, repeatedly. If we do that, we'll get the results we want. I am here as a coach to help you get results. That's my goal as a coach. I can't get you results unless if I get you to repeat the correct things over and over again. That's how I get results. And if you're willing to do that and go through that process, you can become a great golfer, a great ball striker, and all the things that you want out of hitting a golf ball. I understand that when you were learning the conventional golf swing, because I was there too. I spent years learning conventional golf swing, and I had the same problem you had. Information came at me, it didn't make a lot of sense. It was random. You'd actually read a golf magazine, and one article would contradict the next article, exactly contradict. And so there's a lot of, that's why when I saw Moe hit a golf ball for the first time, I saw a golf swing that just made so much sense, start and impact on the same plane. But then when I got to know Moe and I trained with Moe over time, I saw how simple he made it. And then I saw how repetition. One time I walked out to Moe and he was practicing. Now, he was 67 or 68 years old at the time. And I asked him, I said, Moe, why do you keep practicing? He goes, keep making it stronger. Repetition, keep making it stronger. And here's the best ball striker in the world, hitting some golf balls perfectly, loving it because he loved hitting golf balls because he was so good at it. But it was just repetition, repetition, repetition. So that's the goal here. Let's hop on with Mike real quick. Do I need to unmute myself again? Yeah. Mike, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, hey, Mike. Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you, Todd?
Great. Well, tell me, you're in the Single Plane Academy a lot. I see you in there. I appreciate all the support in there. Tell me your experience.
Well, when I signed up for the course, it was in January, February timeframe, and I just came off a year where it wasn't going very well. And, you know, I just love watching you swing the club. I love hearing your instruction. But you said something in it, I don't know what it was, that made a lot of sense to take the Single Plane 30 class. And boy, I'm glad I did, because, you know, it's a different way of looking at the swing. And you know, you're just a great teacher. But when you broke it down and focused on one particular aspect of the swing, starting at the very start position, it just really, really enforced what it is you're trying to accomplish, and made it so much easier. I mean, you forced us into going very, very slow and starting at position 0 and getting position 0 right. And my goodness, we worked on that for a week, you know.
Wow.
I thought, wow, you know, this is but it's something that you need, and it's a different way of learning. Going to the schools, you're on your own doing this thing, but you're doing it at a very set pace, and you're starting from zero and you're ending at 6 4 weeks later, and so with a full swing. And it just made a lot of sense. And I've always appreciated, I'm going to say this again, I've always appreciated listening to your instruction. But for some reason, Todd, the way you explained it when you break it down like this, it's different, and it's still good. It's still really, really good, but it also makes a lot more sense when you're thinking about the swing to look at this. And
Thank you, Mike.
you only spend 40 minutes a day.
Yeah. Let me go up here. I'm going to break it down for everybody, because I think a couple of things that you mentioned. One was, I think people need to understand the importance of the range of motion of the body, because I think everybody has a swing inside of them already that we have to get out. I think that's a different way of looking at it, as opposed to saying you got to go work on this swing. I can put you in positions that make the swing easier, right? And that means there's already a swing inside of you. I just have to put you in the correct positions. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about.
Right.
So let me
Exactly.
let me demonstrate that real quick.
Sure.
Yeah. So Mike, thanks for that. So one of the things that that Mike mentioned, I want to do a little demonstration with you guys. And this demonstration is going to show you how, if my goal is to get to impact, I got to keep this up here because this is the focus. Impact. We got to get to impact. Everything that you need to be focused on, training, learning, doing the reps, is to help us get in positions that make us get to impact. Why was Moe such a great ball striker? Because he could get the club to impact more efficiently and effectively than anybody else. It's as simple as that. But let's do a quick demonstration. I want to show you, if I'm going to square a club face. So at impact, I want to make sure the club face is square. I want to make sure it has speed, but most importantly, I got to make sure that that club is dead square at impact. So you would probably agree with me that when I put the hands, after I tilt and I put the hands on the club, that there is a relationship between the hands and the club face, because that's what's holding the club. So there's a direct relationship between the hands of my hands and the club face. In other words, how I grip the club determines how that face is going to go into the golf ball. Well, what if I could show you a way that I position your body that you no longer had to think about squaring the club face? Like, you didn't have to try, right? That's the goal here. I want to show you a motion that automatically squares the face. Well, watch this. And so let's just do a couple things. You guys can do this with me if you like. And this is going to be a little test for you. Range of motion, how the body works, okay? When I'm like this, when I'm standing straight up, say when I'm looking at you straight up, and I put my arm in flexion, this is called flexion. When I put the arm in front of me, the shoulder goes forward, the arm's in flexion. And notice when my arm's in front of me in flexion, I can turn the back of my hand all the way down to the ground. You guys can probably do the same thing, right? So look how much, this is called range of motion. Look how much range of motion my body has, right? So you're like, okay, Todd, great. I'm a human being, I can move my arm back and forth. What if and so we know, based on the grip of the club, that the back of the hand is lined up with the face. So for me, I know that if I'm gonna hit a golf ball well, I gotta make sure that at impact, the back of the hand is going to the target, okay? So my goal to get to impact is to make sure that every time I swing, the back of the hand goes to the target. But I just showed you that if I'm standing straight up like this, my hand doesn't go to the target, it goes way beyond the target. Okay, watch. If I tilt you, okay? Now if I just tilt you and put your arm in flexion, it's less. It's already less. I can't go to the ground anymore. I still can go past impact, it's less. So the tilt helps me reduce the amount of rotation of my lead hand, so now it goes more towards the target. But now watch this. Put your arm in flexion in front of you. I want you to turn the upper arm inward. It's called internal rotation. Hold it there, and now turn your forearm as far as you can go. Watch my watch. Look at the watch face. It can only go to the target. I can't go past the target. right to the target. So what's that showing you is this. If you have the proper tilt and you move the arm correctly, you can only square face. It can't go past square with the proper tilt and proper arm position. Well, watch what happens in the backswing. Watch my lead arm in the backswing. It goes into internal rotation. That's what the backswing does. That's the position of the backswing. I got to teach you this. You got to learn this. Because if you learn proper backswing, position 2, your arm stays in the correct position, so the only thing that can happen is what? A square face. Because that arm only allows it to square. You don't need to know any of that I just taught you. You don't need to know anything about flexion. You don't need to know anything about this. All you need to do is go into the positions that I teach you. Learn the positions, because it does every one of these things. I understand it because I know biophysics, I know biomechanics, I've studied I'm a measured guy, but I built a program where all that's built into it. So now if you go into the proper tilt and you learn the proper position 2 and you learn how to make position 3 and 4, guess what? All you can do is square face. And that's what Mike was talking about, was it just makes so much sense. But I also want to tell you this, and you can try this yourself as you want to. If you cannot hit the positions of a golf swing in slow motion, address and grip, position 1, position 2, transition stability, position 3, impact 4, extension 5, position 6. If you can't do what I just did there perfectly, there's no way you can sequence for speed. You must learn positions are primary, sequence, then speed is secondary. So your job, my job with you, is to teach you positions, and then I can sequence you and add speed. Positions are mandatory here. And test yourself. And that's what I do in this program. I test you on these positions. Mike kind of alluded to that. I'm testing you because if you're able to hit these positions, right, every one, right, and you can repeat that, you can be really good at hitting a golf ball. That's what I want for you. So let's go back. You got gravesgolf.com/enroll. That's all the special offer.
Let's go back over the offer.
Yeah, let's go back through it one more time.
And then I've got Jeremy on.
Oh, got one more. Okay, good. So again, guys, here's the program. I just can't do any better than this. I've been doing this for 9 months. This is the program. You got the Single Plane 30 program. It's a $2,000 value. You got to take it to the course class. That's a $500 value. You got the blueprint call, $249 value. You got 50% off of the training aids. And then I'm giving you a gift certificate to make up for the difference. You now have the entire program for $297. And by the way, we have people multiple times going through the program. This is the base program for Single Plane 30. By the way, we start, and this is what's so important about this, we start at the first Monday of the month, and you get into the 30-day training. If you miss the Monday, you got to wait an entire month to join the program. And why do we do it that way? Because I'm coaching you in the program. And I want everybody going through the same pace. Just like Mike said. Mike liked the way the thing is paced out. You don't get ahead of yourself. You're not rushing it. You're not going too fast. We pace it with you. So, and by the way, when we do Zoom calls together, sometimes we have 40, 50 people on the Zoom calls like this, and they ask relevant questions to that week's training. A lot of times people get into these things, are like asking questions that we stay on track. So you're training. Guys love the Zoom calls because the coaching that I do in those Zoom calls is always relevant to that week's training. So we're all working through the same stuff, and it applies to everything. We got one more on here? Okay. Jeremy, great. It's a little bit lagged.
You're hearing like echoey? It might be his audio.
Great. Hey, Jeremy. Good. I saw you in the last Zoom call, so I saw you a couple days ago.
Nice. How you doing?
Great. Tell me your experience with Single Plane 30, because we're pretty excited about it.
Oh, I tell you what, it's been amazing. And first of all, the training aids, they fit. It's such a well-designed program. And you had sent a message to the group about being a collector and about collecting all these golf programs. And that's what I did. I tried everything. And I'm like, man, I'm not getting better. And as soon as, actually I saw you talking about SP30 one of the nights, and I'm like, wow, this is so different. And it was amazing. The training aids fit perfectly, and the coaches, anytime you have a question, you could get on there, and you guys do such a great job. You answer everybody's question, you make sure that they understand, and then we do the Zoom calls. I mean, it's you guys like the caring, and you guys just want us to get so much better. It's so refreshing. I was ready to quit golf, and I'm like, I signed up for SP30, and I was taking another golf training program too from another company, and I'm like, oh my, like SP30 is in Graves Golf is just amazing. And this is actually the second time I've taken SP30, and right off the bat, the first Zoom call for the second time I took it, I learned something. I was like, wow, like I was stuck on this. So, and then another thing, I used to have such golf, like when I was golfing, I'd have such back pain, and I almost had to quit because I'm like, man, I'm gonna be out of commission. And one of the things you guys, what drew me to your program was, there's no back pain, and I'm like, well, let's try it. And I golfed this week, and for the first time in 7 years, I felt great. I had no back pain whatsoever. So I mean, you guys are phenomenal. I joined the level 3. Those coaches are great. Like it's just, I'm so grateful that I found you in your program. So like I said, thank you. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm gonna talk about how it saves your back real quick. Thank you for that, though.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for hopping on the Zoom with me. I really appreciate all of you for spending your time with us tonight and kind of sharing your experience in single plane 30. And Jeremy, you just mentioned, the saving your back. I want to show you how the swing saves your back biophysically, right? Because we get this a lot. We get a lot of people that have back pain from golf, and it's a lot of it's from what you've learned in conventional golf, because there's two very important things that go on in a golf swing. One thing is obviously you have rotation, right? When you have rotation of the body. So we have rotation going on. But what creates pain isn't really rotation. What creates pain is when your upper body is going down to hit the ball, so you're swinging down, and your lower body is going up, right? So if you're pushing up on the lower half of your body, your legs, if your legs are pushing up and your upper body is going down and you're turning, you get this thing called shear. Shear is when you put stress between 2 joints, 2 points, and you turn it, you get shear. And most people experience back pain. When I was younger and not a single plane golfer, when I didn't know Moe, I experienced back pain as well. So conventional golf creates back pain because, and guys, look at the tour players, Rory, all these guys, even Scheffler, these guys experience pain in their body because they have an element of shear in their swing. So we want to eliminate. We're not going to eliminate rotation, right? We rotate in the single plane swing as well. We're going to eliminate the compression of lower body versus upper body. So in other words, instead of this part going up and this part going down, we're going to go down. We're not going to go up anymore with the lower body. And the way we do that is from correct address position, right? Address and grip. We leverage at the top. Look at my lead leg. It stabilizes. See how it's bent, but it's stable. It's not loose. It's stable. But what that does is it moves my pelvis down, and then I deliver the club. And what happens is, as I rotate, I don't have the compression. I don't have the shear. So if you're experiencing back pain, it's because this is moving up as this is moving down. We got to stay into the leg, keep it there, and then go for it. That's the beautiful thing that you see in Moe's swing. No pain in the body. You still have rotation, you still have speed, you have all the things you need, you just don't have the compression. And the reason you don't have the compression is because you're starting on the impact plane. You don't need to go up with your body. So Jeremy, thank you for that. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, it's a big part of what we teach at single plane. It's an easier way on the back, and we get a lot of people, take on the single plane swing because they're trying to, longevity, they're trying to play golf longer and better and not have back pain. Go through it one more time?
Yeah, one more time.
And by the way, is there any questions?
We have a few, we got a couple.
Okay, got some questions. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat because I got a few minutes here. I'll be happy to answer some questions about the swing or whatever you want to talk about. Again, gravesgolf.com/enroll. We're taking enrollment for the September class. It starts, guys, it's coming up, starts on Monday. Monday, we close the registration down. You have to wait a month. And I'm always like, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? Get in the program. Because as Jeremy mentioned, he went through it 2 times. You'll get a discount if you want to go through it again if you go through it the first time. So we always help you. We want you to continue this. It's core basic training. You can't do this enough. You cannot go through this enough. This is going to be the way you transform yourself. Here's a question that came in just now. Todd, what is the hardest change for you coming from a conventional swing? That's actually a very good question. The hardest change coming from a conventional swing. I think I have to really rewind my brain because I was a conventional golfer too. Probably doing it correctly, probably making sure I was practicing correctly, because what happens is you're going to come in with feelings of your previous golf swing, your conventional swing, and you've got to make sure you practice correctly, and those feelings change. The hardest thing is when I go from a conventional address to put you in a proper address and grip, there's more tilt, and you're going to go, wow, and your brain's going to go, it doesn't make sense. Things don't make sense at first when you make big changes. That's why in the program, the first week of the program, as Mike mentioned, is that it's repetitive and it goes at the right pace. It makes sure you do it at the correct pace because we want you to ingrain those feelings. I don't want you to do it one time and go, okay, I got it, because you won't have it. You've got to do it over and over. And the first week we go through address and grip, and we drill it in, because if you don't get the position at address right, you're not going to get the first position right. And I think that's the problem with coaching in the conventional world, is they're just giving you tips. They're trying to rush you through this, and they're not progressing you. What we do in single plane 30 is called progressive training. Progressing you in the proper exact order with the proper information to get you to progress through it in the proper sequence so you learn it correctly and you reprogram your brain. It's based in science. I didn't make this stuff up. This is how the body learns. I just built a golf program around the single plane swing with it. Here's another question. We get this one quite often with the training. What if I can't do the training every single day? It's a good question. Look, I don't want you to get too far behind, but let's say you miss a day. You can do 2 trainings in one day. You can do a couple trainings in one day. Like Mike said a minute ago, your address and grip training lasts for a few days, so you can catch up pretty easily. Don't miss a whole week, because then you got to go back and catch up. But you can do multiple trainings every single day. So if you miss a day, for example, you get busy, you miss a day, you can always make a day up on the training. Piece of cake, not a problem. You won't get too far behind.
2 more questions.
2 more questions. Question here. It looks like your arms are extended further from your body. I am seeing that correctly. You have not mentioned that, Roger. Extended further from your body.
I think addressing in 5 as you go through.
Oh, so watch. We'll do it down the line on this. Okay. My arms are on the club shaft plane. So my arms are lined up with the club shaft. So there's your single plane, right? There's your alignment. That's just a turning away, getting the club to move basically in relation to my rotation. So there's position 1. And then if I do this correctly, right, from position 1, I go to on plane position 2 at the top. This should be right on plane. I transition, and my arms go back to the same plane at impact. There's that same exact plane. See my starting plane? See my impact plane? It's the same. And then from here, I get extension. But guess what? That's also planed. That's the plane of the club in position 5. And then watch this. That's the club on plane. Look at it, points right towards the ball in position 6. Everything that you see happening to that golf club is relative to this plane at address, relative to this tool's design. So I'm taking this club the way it's designed, and I'm moving it in the most efficient, effective way to get to impact and to get the face square. It's about super efficiency, and there's no easier way. There's no simpler way to move the body or the club than this golf swing. That's why Moe was such a genius. He figured this stuff out.
Okay, last one.
Here it is. Here's the last question. I hit the ball straighter with a single plane swing, but still suffer from a loss of distance as a senior. How do I get back reasonable distance? Okay, so I love this question because let me just do something really quick. I'm going to write my process back up here. This is the magic formula, right? Okay, so you got address, did I do with my other? Oh, I got it right here. Address and grip. Okay, then you got positions. Then you got sequence. Then you got speed. So this is my single plane 30 formula, right? This is what I teach you inside single plane 30. So the question was, okay, Todd, I've lost some speed. How do I get speed back? Every single question you asked me about, Todd, I'm hitting a hook. Todd, I'm slicing it. Todd, I'm losing speed. Whatever, doesn't matter. Can be found right here in my formula. Let's go through it. So you're losing speed. Let me check your address and grip. You got it? Perfect. Your body position, your hand position, everything's good? Great. Check. So I'm going to check that first. If I find a problem there, I'm fixing that problem there. I'm not going on, not moving on. I'm not going to go, your grip's good enough. It's not great, but let's move on. I'm not going to move on. Okay? So got this. Check this off. Address and grip. Now I'm going to look at position 1, position 2, position 3. I'm going to look at those in order. I'm going to check your position 1. Okay? How's position 1? Good? Got it. Position 2. I bet you I find it in position 2. You don't have the club leveraged. You're lacking rotation. There's probably a reason you're not able to produce speed. There's something going on. You're missing a position. I'm going to find it. Let's say I find it right here, position 2. I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to have you train position 2. This is what my formula does. It not only teaches you perfectly in the proper order, it also solves every single problem you have. And you can use this forever. From this point forward, guys, if I go practice tomorrow, I'm thinking about this weekend, taking a break and doing some practicing. I built a performance center. I haven't even hit balls out there yet, believe it or not. So I'm going to go to the performance center this weekend. I'm going to spend Sunday afternoon. I'm going to hit some balls. My wife goes, let's start hitting golf balls together at the center. I said, okay. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to check my address and grip. I'm going to check my positions. I'm going to then check my sequence. I'm going to add some speed, whatever. I'm going to use my formula to practice. I do it every single time. If I don't like what's going on, it's right here. I'll find what's going on. And I'm going to use my training aids as well. I can't go wrong. I can't screw it up because it's all right here for me. Here's how you screw it up. You're under the range. You don't have any feedback tools. You don't know what you're practicing. And you start hitting balls. And you don't hit them well. And guess what? You get into the guessing game. Is my grip right? Is my address right? How am I doing? Right? Don't do that. Stop being a backwards golfer. Be a forwards golfer. Do this correctly. Use my formula. Stop learning it backwards. Stop practicing backwards. That was my goal tonight, was to save you from all the backwards stuff you've been doing in the game and get you on a forward progressive schedule with the Single Plane 30 program. And I thank the guys that joined me tonight for giving us a testimonial about the program. We've had so many great testimonials. And Mike is right. You know, we've evolved as a teaching company. And this is the evolution of a teacher, me, evolving my training into something that I believe is perfect. I mean, I look at it, I'm like, I don't know how to improve it. I don't know how to improve it. It's all so much there. And the results we're getting from it are showing it. So I'm getting the results that I want. People are transforming their games and their swings. They're shooting the best scores of their life. They're saving their backs. All the things are happening from this progressive training formula. That's why I'm so excited. And I want everybody to join it. I want to get at least 200 people a month in there. That's our limit, though, by the way. 200 people every single month. We cut it off at 200 because we're coaching it. We can't coach more than that. So you got to get in if you want to get in by Monday, which is the first day of the program. Go through this one more time, and then we'll take off here. gravesgolf.com/enroll. That's the Single Plane 30 program. That's the daily modules every single day. That's your training progress. You get the fast action bonuses. You get me as your coach. All this for $297, and that includes these training aids as well. Remember, we're throwing that stuff in there and the bonuses. $297, guys, to train with me. That's $10 a day. You can train with me the entire single month of September, and we can transform your game. Thank you guys for joining me. I want to thank everybody for hopping on the Zoom calls with me as well. You guys are great. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you inside Single Plane 30 for September.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. These will never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.